Sing it with me if you know the words. Every facade will eventually crack under the pressure of its own maintenance. Those who have been listening to me for a while know that I say this a lot, but I can't stress its importance enough. We've had Green is in Your Color, Simple Ways, Leap of Faith, and The Main Attraction, among others, to subtly demonstrate that point in its various forms. Where the Apple Lies showed us the consequences of problem solving through dishonesty in its simplest form, and how we can prevent putting ourselves in this situation to begin with. Granny Smith's story started with Applejack's selfish motivations. Her ego drove her to make promises that she couldn't keep in order to prove herself. But when Filthy Rich didn't want to do business with someone who couldn't keep their promises, Applejack could only save her family's livelihood by appealing to his humanity. She could have skipped the whole ordeal by confessing her mistakes and intentions on the spot, but that would have required self-sacrifice and showing weakness, which Applejack either didn't think to do or was simply prevented from doing by her own ego. Thus, it could only snowball until it was impossible to keep track of all of the factors involved. Additionally to Applejack's fault, we should also acknowledge that Big Macintosh had an equal opportunity to make amends early on. But while it's good that he was voicing his disapproval to Applejack, he chose to be silent to those that mattered, and could have done a much better job at being tactful and removing his own competitive ego from the situation. Thank God Applejack finally stopped it before her brother got hurt, as I've known people who were willing to sacrifice others just to save face. But even in the best case scenarios, once you bring a lie to this point, you've shown that you would rather sacrifice others than own up to your own mistakes. Why should anyone trust what you have to say when this is the case? How can you create and strengthen bonds with your friends and family when they have to constantly ask themselves what your ulterior motive is? The people around you need to be able to trust that you are being honest with them. When your lies are revealed, it destroys their image of you and shows them that they are not worth the honesty. The closer you are to someone, the more damage will be done when the truth inevitably comes out. Even if you are somehow trying to protect them through the facade, you will only destroy the relationship and make it more difficult for them to trust others who are more deserving. Sometimes it's not enough to merely voice your concerns. Sometimes direct intervention is required, and Big Macintosh fell short when it came time to do so. He might have shared Applejack's fear of losing business with the Rich family, but due to his lack of action, he shared in her lies and consequences as well. This is the importance of demonstrating honesty through your actions. The more you care about your family, the more you'll share in their suffering. Through that, it will be easier to stand up against them in order to keep your loved ones from hurting themselves. It will hurt at the time, but they'll thank you eventually. And even if they don't, then you can take solace in knowing that you've protected them. As for Big Macintosh, we can harken back to Lesson 0 to remember the importance of a calm, compassionate mind. For without this, you cannot possibly consider the perspective of others. Then, there is only selfishness causing us to drive away those we care about. Then, situations like we saw in these and other episodes become inevitable. We can also harken back to Pinky Pride to see the futility of the siblings' competition. Why would anyone in their right mind want to compete with their own family for ego? You will always need each other in order to have anything of true value. So instead, collaborate towards bettering the world around you. Nothing else matters. Honesty is one of the most difficult, yet invaluable virtues to have. Being honest means that you are ready to admit the faults of yourself or those you care about to give yourself and others a chance to improve, regardless of what consequences may come from it. Being honest means that you love your family enough to be disgusted by the concept of deceiving them, especially when it means that they would suffer. The choice to be honest is as much of a choice of strength as any of the other main virtues in this show. After you've made that choice enough times, you will gain mastery of this virtue. You will be willing and able to humble yourself, sacrifice whatever position you may have gained through dishonesty, and be able to keep doing what is right, unfazed of those consequences. The strength of humility is the ability to stand tall, even when you are kneeling and bowing your head. The strength of sacrifice is having so much love for those around you that you can give of yourself until it hurts, and not feel any pain. And it all starts with choosing to demonstrate the virtue of honesty. Through learning the lessons that they did in this story, Applejack and Big Macintosh learned to open their hearts and be more honest with each other. If she hadn't learned this lesson at a young age, Applejack would have never been able to do any of the great things that we've seen her do. If we can master honesty on the same level, then maybe we can do the same. And that's the moral of the story. If you have a topic you would like to hear discussed, you can drop your suggestions by following Brawny Buck on Tumblr or sending an email to bronydebates@gmail.com. Feel free to check out my Patreon to see how you can support my channel and what you'll get in return. This video was sponsored by Irish John's Short Films and Animations, as well as all of my other generous supporters. Have a great day, and I look forward to hearing from all of you soon.